I bought my first pinball machine late 90s, I think. And then I bought a couple more and a couple more. Usually buy them broken and fix them. That's what I like to do. My background is an electrician. I grew up late 70s, early 80s in the arcade and I always loved them. And now I get to do my hobby and help other people out.
What games were your favorites when in the 70s?
A lot of the late 70s Bally games. You had 8-Ball Deluxe, Power Play, and stuff like that. And then for those were the electronic ones, and the older, what they call electrical mechanical ones. Yeah, Night Rider. I have one down in my basement because I just like it. I like the sound of it, the chimes and the ding, 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 ding.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than the digital games people play now.
Yeah, I find the new stuff, it's pretty exciting, but it's very busy and lots of lights. And this is just old school. Right. It's nice to sit down there. I have friends over and have a couple games of pinball, a couple wobbly pops, game on in the background. It's an enjoyable evening. I started basically at the beginning of the pandemic. Before I used to buy games and sell them. At the beginning of the pandemic, I thought, maybe someone wants their game fixed because everybody was stuck at home, right? It's a surprising number of people in the North Bay, Nipissing area who have games, and I put an ad on Facebook Marketplace, and all of a sudden I'm getting all these messages. Oh, we didn't know someone still fixed them. They didn't know there were parts available.
You weren't originally from North Bay. How long you've been here, and where did you come from?
I've been here 11 years. I came from Victoria, where I lived the last 25 years. I was in the Canadian Navy as an electrician. And I came here in 2010. I'm originally from Sarnia, Ontario. Yeah, I have a son. He's 23, and he enjoyed North Bay, but now he's off to the Army. He's off in New Brunswick now, doing his thing.
What's the most challenging part about fixing these things? Imagine trying to get parts, but...
The technology's 40 and 50 years old. Like the machine I have behind me, I'm working on for a customer. There's a lot of water damage, so you got to deal with the old machinery, the old wood and stuff that's falling apart. So you have to try to make it work. That's what people are asking for because they still want to play them. A rainy day at the cottage, great thing to entertain the kids for a couple hours. But you can do arcade games, which I also work on, like Galaga and Pac-Man and those, but it's not an Xbox type thing where you sit there for hours. I remember as a kid going to the arcades and watching other people play. Because you'd have 2 or 3 kids on the side of the pinball machine watching somebody getting a high score or doing amazing, and you felt part of it. And that was the atmosphere of the arcade, because you could just walk by and watch everybody else play and then learn something. Okay, that's how I do that. It was an experience, not just throw a quarter in, right?
Yeah, you weren't on your own necessarily. It was social. Because even if you were playing, somebody else might come up and watch, right?
Yeah.
If you're good.
Well, yeah, I mean, as a kid at the arcade, even a weekday night, there might be 100 kids in the arcade.
Have there been any games where you couldn't fix?
Not so far, no. I tend to the older games, like 90s and older. Doesn't mean I won't try. Another one, I worked on a Tommy Who for a guy down in Magnetawan this summer. That was the newest machine I had worked on. It was a bit of a challenge, but...
how new is that? Like what?
That would have been the 90s game.
Yeah?
Mid-90s.
Do they still make these things?
Yeah, Stern Pinball and Jersey Jack Pinball make newer games.
And what are those new games like compared to the old ones?
They're expensive. Well, in my mind, they're anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000.
That's expensive.
There's a lot of rules set. Lots of bells and whistles and stuff. So to me, being old school, it doesn't seem as much fun. But to each their own. But you become comfortable with what you know, right? I mean, I remember playing this game as a kid, and I remember having to do this. But with the new games, you got to try to figure it all out again.
So can you rig the tilt not to happen, or what?
We'll always take the tilt out for the home games. That way you give it that little bump with your hip or...
That's part of the game, man.
Yeah, I know. But back as a kid, you had to remember how much you could do it and stuff like that. I take them out because most people who buy games are, is there any way to disable that? Yes, we can.
How long does it take you to fix something? I guess it depends on the complexity.
I returned 2 games to a person down in Levine a week ago. And between the 2 games was 20 hours or more. Just repair hours, and then you clean up new rubber bands and waxing the playfield and new lights and stuff. So a little time consuming, but it's all right. Just come out to the garage and put the music on and just go at it.
Clean and maintenance is part of it.
Oh yeah, they're meant to be played. The more you play them, the better they will play. And what people don't understand is you don't oil these things. No oil, no grease, no WD-40.
Yeah.
And then over the years, people think, oh, I'll just put some WD-40 on there. Well, then it takes an extra hour to clean stuff up.
What shouldn't people do with their games?
Try not to spill any liquids into them. Nowadays, don't leave them plugged in because the old light bulbs just kind of burn away some of the paint and stuff. Makes it flake. Right? Turn it on when you're going to use it. Unless you're going to put LED bulbs in them, and then it's better for them. Best thing to do is just play them.
Yeah, just don't let them sit.
Yeah, because as you know, most of these the older machines are 40 and 50 years old. They will break down. You buy one for your home, and you're going to have to look after them.
Yeah.
Right? Things break down if you don't take care of them. So.
Do many people try to open them up and?
Oh yes. There's a few home hacks. Yeah. Just like on this board here, it's a power supply board where it's normally a clip that goes on there. Well, the clip must have broke, so they soldered all the individual wires on.
Oh yeah.
So, and then that has to be fixed, and then you have burnt marks where fuses were. So, people try.
Yeah.
But they won't admit what they tried to do. Oh, it was somebody else before them.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
Yeah.
Is there like an association? Do you ever go to any type of conferences?
Well, they have a pinball show in Ottawa every September. Well, not during COVID, but before they had one. A fellow named Chris will have it at the. There's a center on Hunt Club Road, I think. People from Ontario come and set up their own machines for free, and they get to play all they want. They buy an admission fee for like $10 or $15, and they get to play pinball all day on a Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. In the States, they have a few shows I've not gone to. Chicago has one, York, Pennsylvania has one. And then there's a lot of buy and sell happens at those areas too, or swap meets.
So how much it costs to get a early 80s pinball game?
Well, it depends what part of Ontario you are. If you're down in Toronto, the price could be a little higher than up here in North Bay. But up in the north, there's less supply and a bit more demand.
And to buy a game, how much?
A pinball machine, the ones I work on and sell, I'd say anywhere between $800 and $1,200.
And your Baldies downstairs, how much are they worth?
A lot more than that. You probably get over $2,000 for them down in Toronto way. Or even here, like the hockey theme, the Bobby Gold Power Play. Everybody loves the hockey theme. So you can charge a bit more.
And where's a good place to go looking for them?
Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji. Word of mouth is the big thing.
Right.
I just like to share my passion with it. That was my childhood.
I could see the Bronco game being popular around here.
Yeah. It's 1977 Gottlieb. Very popular back in the day because I like the sound, I like the play, I like the bing, 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 bing.